Welcome back, everyone, to the Barrels and Roots podcast. And for those of you who are just tuning in, this is one of my newer podcasts. I've been doing podcasting for a while. I've been doing a lot of YouTube videos for a while, but this podcast I created when I went back home to where I grew up in the Napa Valley. Now, growing up in the Napa Valley is one of the most awesome things that I've had the experience of having in my life. That's kind of a weird sentence, but I grew up in the Napa Valley, and there's so much there that I absolutely love because the Napa Valley is synonymous with wine. And I want to talk to you about a simple topic today, why wine matters in 2025. And again, what this podcast is all about. Now, first of all, I need to tell you about a memory. When I was young, and I was in university actually, and high school, all that time, I remember one of the most beautiful, fun, and powerful things that's actually happening right now. A harvest just finished up in the valley, and the crush is happening, and they begin the fermentation of the wine. Now, when I went back to Napa last week, my wife was there with me, and she experienced it for the first time, the crush. Now, for those of you who don't know, the crush is when they pulled in the harvest, they start crushing the grapes, and the fermentation begins. And there's this amazing thing that happens in the entire Napa Valley. The whole valley smells like wine. It's wild. No matter where you're at in the valley, it smells like wine. And it's this beautiful experience because when you go in and you have a glass of wine and you pick up that glass of wine and you take a sip, you're drinking something amazing. It tastes amazing, but you don't realize that that wine came from somewhere. It came from a grape. Now, that grape did not just magically appear. It took all summer for that little tiny grape to grow, to mature, the weather, the sun, the rain, all of these things feeding that little grape until it becomes this large grape that is then harvested, crushed, and this entire process gone through. Now, when you're drinking that wine, that was not something that was created yesterday. It was something that took a lot of time, years even, because you think about it, those vines have been growing for many years and they're being cultivated, and year after year, the winemakers and the people are going out and shaping and caring for these plants. Wine takes time. It's patience in a fast world. When we're talking about people, I remember when I started getting into content, and content took a lot of time. We would take and create a video, and each video would take 1-2 weeks. Now, when I go to my wife, there are people there that are doing content and they are posting immediately. It is fast, reel, film, post, up, reel, film, post, up. It's minutes, seconds even. But sometimes some of the best stuff in the world takes time. And that mastery, beauty, amazing things take time. They can't be rushed. And one of the most important things that I try to teach my daughter, Elani, is that sometimes we need to slow down. Now, one of the beautiful things in winemaking, and again, I am no winemaker, okay? I am just simply a person who absolutely loves the art, the beauty, and the power of wine. But there is humanity in the craft. Now, when you meet a winemaker, this is not a person who stands there isolated. I sit here and I stir these things. Behind every bottle is failure, learning, attempting something new, trying again, art, and then eventually success. Now, these people that are making this wine are real people. Now, when you go up to Napa or any other wine country, you will see people out in the fields. They are working with these plants. They are caring for them 24/7. There's these amazing thing that you get up there. There are all of these turbo fans, look like an airplane engine that sits there. Now, if it gets too cold and there's a danger of a frost, they have to turn these things on to move the air so that these plants don't get damaged, so that the grapes don't get spoiled, or there's not water damage, or they don't get frozen. Stuff, again, that I don't fully understand, but I do know that these are real people that deal with real weather, and they have all of these different things. It is this beautiful dance with nature, with life. And it's a perfect analogy for the lives we live. Not everything goes perfectly in our lives. And when we create anything good, whether it be, a job that we do, writing a paper, making a movie, whatever it is, there are all of these elements that we have to work through. And it is the same thing. It's failure, it's learning, it's art, and it takes time. It takes time to learn how to do things well. Now, wine, there's a great Galileo quote that wine is sunlight held together by water, but it's also held together by work, by love, by care, and by passion. And that's like our lives, you know? And the other thing that's really special about wine, and one of the reasons I put into this podcast the title Barrels and Roots, is because for me, coming from the Napa Valley, just like a wine has to have deep roots, the grapevines have to have deep roots to pull from something. For me, I have these memories of growing up in that region, and it's not just about the wine, it's about the community. You go there, and there are all of these people that are working this art, that are building something bigger. Now, to plant a vineyard, it's not about something that you're doing today, but it's about believing in tomorrow and believing in a community that are putting something and investing something beautiful to share with people in the future. I also have a financial podcast, the Growing Money with Sean Trey's podcast. You put aside money to buy a car, to take a vacation. But the beauty with wine is that these winemakers are putting this energy, this love, this intent into these plants, into this cultivation, into this drink to share joy with someone in the future. And in a society that we've forgotten at times how to come together and share something beautiful, that joy is important. So what is this podcast? It's about celebrating stories. The brands, they're amazing, but it's the people that make the wine. It's the humanity that shapes the stories. Now, the human side of wine is the beauty of seeing the effort that all of these people put in. And why does this matter in 2025? In a world that is getting really interconnected with AI, and there's sometimes a lack of authenticity. You see it all over different social media sources where people are just reading AI-generated scripts. This is about being authentic. It's about telling real stories. It's about meeting the people who are making something amazing, an analog gift in a digital world. Now, I'm not an expert on wine, but I am a person who loves to hear stories. And for me, Barrels and Roots, it's all about finding out the stories and the journey behind every bottle, a bottle that can bring joy. And I mean, if you can be part of that and sharing joy with something else, then that's a story I want to hear. So today, I hope you guys have enjoyed this, enjoyed hearing a little bit about my approach to what this podcast is going to be about. And I look forward to many more fun conversations. Remember, sometimes taking the time to look at things in this fast-paced world is a beautiful thing. So I hope that you can sit down with a beautiful glass of wine, whatever's your favorite, and slow down and listen to the music around you. Listen to the beautiful stories around you, and hopefully listen to this podcast more. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.